In the spotlight tonight is Gerry Waldron from Ballymena, a consultant in public health medicine, and his subject is Irish history from 1916 to 1923. Rachel Hobbs from Hailsham, a school laboratory technician, and her specialist subject, Iron Maiden. Robin Healey from Royston, an historian. His subject is the life and works of John Piper. And Magnus Moody from Edinburgh, a solicitor, and his subject, the World War series of novels by Harry Turtledove. Hello and welcome to Mastermind with me, John Humphreys. The questions are tough, but the rules are simple. 4 contenders will answer questions on their specialist subject and on general knowledge, 2 minutes on each. Tonight's winner will go through to the next round and perhaps on to the final, where they could be crowned Mastermind. So, may we have our first contender, please? And your name is?
Gerry Waldron.
Your occupation?
Consultant in public health medicine.
And your chosen subject?
Irish history 1916 to 1923.
Irish history, or that part of it, in 2 minutes, starting now. Whom did Eamon de Valera appoint as the Minister of Finance in the first Dáil Éireann, which formed after the 1918 general election?
Michael Collins.
Correct. In addition to his work on agricultural reform, what political goal did Sir Horace Plunkett champion through a league and a journal from 1919?
The Gaelic League.
Dominion Home Rule. What is the name of the principal founder of Sinn Féin, who later served as acting president of the Irish Republic and president of the Provisional Government of the Irish Free State?
Arthur Griffith.
Correct. In which mountains did the IRA Chief of Staff Liam Lynch die during fighting with Free State troops on the 10th of April 1923?
The Knockmill Down Mountains.
Correct. Collins and Harry Boland rescued de Valera from which English prison in 1919?
Lincoln.
Yes. Which of the leaders of the Easter Rising was born in Edinburgh, played a part in the founding of Industrial Workers of the World?
James Connolly.
Correct. What excuse did the Viceroy, Lord French, give for arresting Sinn Féin's leadership in 1918?
The German plot.
Yes. Whom did Sir James Craig appoint as his senior military advisor in Northern Ireland in 1922?
Sir Henry Wilson.
Yes. In 1918, Arthur Griffith won which by-election for Sinn Féin, despite being in prison at the time?
Pass.
In November 1922, which Free State minister reluctantly agreed to the execution of Rory O'Connor, who'd been the best man at his wedding the year before?
Kevin O'Higgins.
Correct. After the Easter Rising, the majority of the deported prisoners were interned in which village in North Wales?
Frongach.
Correct. Which Belfast-born member of the Irish Republican Brotherhood was arrested by his colleagues to prevent him from interfering with the Easter Rising?
Bulmer Hobson.
Yes. What slogan did Sinn Féin use to explain their campaign to elect the imprisoned Joe McGuinness at the South Longford by-election?
Put him in to get him out.
Correct. Which South African statesman operated as the intermediary between Irish Republicans and the British government and influenced George V's speech at the opening of the Parliament in Belfast in 1921?
Pass.
In which valley in County Cork did the ambush and killing of Michael Collins take place?
Bailnablaw.
Yes. Which official building in Dublin became the command centre for the Republican insurgents during Easter 1916 after Patrick Pearse proclaimed the Provisional Government of the Irish Republic from its steps?
The General Post Office.
Yes. What office did Terence McSweeney hold when he starved himself to death in Brixton Prison in 1920?
Lord Mayor of Cork.
Lord Mayor of Cork is correct. You had 2 passes. That South African statesman was Jan Smuts, and the by-election was East Cavan. 2 passes. Gerry Waldron, 14 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Rachel Hobbs.
Your occupation?
School laboratory technician.
And your chosen subject?
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden, in 2 minutes, starting now. Who was the group singer when they recorded their debut album, Iron Maiden, in 1980?
Paul Di'Anno.
Correct. Which song did the band refuse to mime to on Top of the Pops in February 1980, which resulted in them becoming the first act for 8 years to play live on the programme?
Running Free?
Yes. Who originally created Iron Maiden's long-standing skeletal mascot, Eddie, which appeared on the cover of the Sanctuary album, attacking Mrs. Thatcher?
Derek Riggs.
Yes. The band signed with which major record label in November 1979 after 2 of their tracks were released on the compilation album Metal for Mothers?
EMI.
Yes. Which album was their first with Bruce Dickinson as lead singer and became their first to reach #1 in the charts?
Number of the Beast.
Yes. Founder member Steve Harris was a member of which pub band but left to form Iron Maiden with Dave Murray in 1976?
Smiler.
Yes. What was the title of the band's self-financed EP, which was released on mail order in 1979?
Soundhouse Tapes.
Yes. What was the name of their 4-month tour intended to promote the Peace of Mind album, which began in Hull in May 1983 after a warm-up date in Stuttgart?
World Peace.
Correct. Which Led Zeppelin song did Iron Maiden cover and use as a B-side on some copies of the #1 single, Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter?
Pass.
Which album gave the band their third UK #1 when it went straight in at the top of the charts in May '92?
Fear of the Dark.
Yes, Iron Maiden were a support act on which American group's European tour in August 1980?
Kiss.
Yes, the band recorded Peace of Mind at which studio in Nassau after moving to the Bahamas for tax reasons?
Compass Point.
Correct. What's the title of the group's second album on which Steve Harris wrote all the songs except for the title track, which he co-wrote with Paul Di'Anno?
Killers.
Yes, which former Gillan and White Spirit guitarist joined the band in February 1990 to replace Adrian Smith?
Yannick Gears.
Correct. An excerpt from the introduction to which cult 1960s television programme is used in a song on the Number of the Beast album?
The Prisoner.
Yes, in '93, Blaze Bayley left which group in order to replace Bruce Dickinson in Iron Maiden?
Wolfsbane.
Yes, under what name did some members of the band play a makeshift gig at the Marquee Club in London on the 21st of December 1985?
Pass.
What is the title of their greatest hits album, which was released in 1999, accompanied by a video game?
Ed Hunter.
Yes, which single from the album Matter of Life and Death, I've started so I shall finish, entered the UK charts at #3 in December 2006?
No, pass.
I shall tell you in that case, because we're out of time, it was Different World. Your other two passes, the entire population of Hackney was the name that they used to play that makeshift gig, and Communication Breakdown was the Led Zeppelin song. 3 passes, Rachel Hobbs, 16 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Robin Healey,
Your occupation?
historian.
And your chosen subject?
The life and works of John Piper.
John Piper, in 2 minutes, starting now. What other unusual middle name was John Egerton Piper given when he was born in 1903?
Christmas.
Yes, what's the title of the book of recollections by his father, Charles Piper, which was published in 1925 and included 19 illustrations by John?
63 not out.
Correct. Piper was advised to go to which art school for 1 year to improve his life drawing so that he could qualify for entrance to the Royal College of Art?
Richmond College.
Yes.
Richmond Art College.
Yes. Piper designed the publicity poster for which 1945 Ealing Studios film which was tagged A Romance of the Canals?
Pass.
In 1934, who was the chairman of the group of modern artists known as the 7 and 5 Society who invited him to become a member?
Ben Nicholson.
Yes. Which English county was the subject of the first Shell County Guide that John Betjeman asked him to produce?
Oxfordshire.
Correct. What was the title of the quarterly arts magazine that ran from 1935 to 37 on which he collaborated with his second wife, Mavanwi?
Axis.
Yes, when Piper was commissioned by the Queen in 1941 to do a series of paintings of Windsor Castle, he was asked to follow the example of which artist's watercolours?
Cotman.
Paul Sandby. What old-fashioned printing technique did he adopt when he produced a guidebook of Brighton in 1939?
Aquatints.
Yes, Piper and Mavanwi found an abandoned farmhouse in which village near Henley that became their home for more than 55 years?
Forley.
Foley Bottom, yes. What was the name of the stained glass craftsman who first worked with Piper in '53 and was responsible for interpreting many of his designs, including Coventry Cathedral's baptistery window?
Patrick Ventions.
Yes. Which designer, author and cartoonist collaborated with him on the Grand Vista display for the 1951 Festival of Britain Pleasure Gardens at Battersea?
Osbert Lancaster.
Yes. Piper and Renchens decorated which giant architectural feature of Liverpool's Roman Catholic Cathedral with stained glass?
Baptistry.
The lantern. Who's quoted as saying, "You've been pretty unlucky with the weather, Mr. Piper," while looking at some of Piper's sketches that showed the artist's characteristic sombre skies?
That was George VI.
It was. Piper painted which church in Bristol just after it had been bombed in the 1940 Blitz? The painting was used on a Royal Mail commemorative stamp in 1968.
Pass.
Well, I can tell you we're out of time. St Mary Laporte is the answer to that, and Painted Boats was the Ealing Studios film. 2 passes, Robin Healey, 11 points. And our final contender, please. And your name is?
Magnus Moody.
Your occupation?
I'm a solicitor.
And your chosen subject?
The World War novels of Harry Turtledove.
The World War novels of Harry Turtledove in 2 minutes, starting now. The aliens who invade Earth in the middle of World War II refer to themselves by what general name?
The Reese.
Yes, in Striking the Balance, in what type of German plane does Ludmilla Gorbanova fly to Vuch during a truce with the Allies?
Fighter Storch.
Yes. In Tilting the Balance, Jens Larsen volunteers to travel to Witchtown in Washington in order to check out its suitability for an atomic pile.
Hanford.
Correct. Otto Skorzieni steals a Land Cruiser from which alien-held city by bribing an alien with ginger, which acts as an addictive drug on members of the race.
Besançon.
Correct. Before the war, what had been the profession of the Polish partisan leader Ignacy?
Piano player.
No, piano teacher. What equipment is being produced for the aliens at the French factory in Albi, which is shelled by Otto and Heinrich Jäger?
Gas masks.
Yes, Bobby Fiore was a baseball player for which minor league team at the time that the aliens invaded?
Decatur Commodores.
Correct. In the books, who becomes the American president after the death in office of Franklin D. Roosevelt?
Cordell Hull.
Yes, Viktor Kraminov. And which NKVD officer proposed a joint Soviet-German operation to hijack the nuclear materials being recovered by the aliens from the wreckage of a spaceship?
Volisov.
Say again.
Volishov.
No, Boris Lidov. In Striking the Balance, which metallic element is used to cap the newly developed armour-piercing shells which are given to the Panzer Force led by Heinrich Jäger?
Pass.
In Tilting the Balance, what type of technological equipment does the RAF pilot Ken Embry take to the Russians in Pskov in his Lancaster?
A radar set.
Yes, who wakes Ludmila Gorbanova with his snoring during their journey to Berchtesgaden?
Molotov.
Correct. What's the name of the submarine commanded by Roger Stansfield that conveys Moshe Russi and his family into the Mediterranean for a rendezvous with the tramp steamer Naxos?
Sea Nymph.
Correct. Who is the interpreter of the group of Japanese scientists who quizzed the captured killercraft pilot Tirtz about the technology used by the race for processing uranium?
Major Okamoto.
Correct. Which Chinese woman shares a tent with the apothecary Yi Min when they are moved into a prison camp following the alien invasion?
Liu Han.
Correct. Which city do the race destroy with a nuclear weapon in retaliation for the destruction of their occupied city of Alexandria? Take a guess.
Hamburg.
No, Copenhagen. But it could have been Hamburg, I suppose. You had one pass, and that was...
Tungsten.
Tungsten. You now know the answer to that in Striking the Balance. One pass, Magnus Moody, 12 points. So that's the end of the first round, the specialist subjects. Let's have a look at the scores. In fourth place with 11 points, Robin Healey. Third place with 12 points, Magnus Moody. Second place with 14 points, Gerry Waldron. Close contest this. In the lead with 16 points, Rachel Hobbs. So, the general knowledge round now, and if there's a tie at the end of the round, the number of passes get taken into account. Let's get on then with the general knowledge round and ask Robin Healey to join us again, if you would, please. And your man, John Piper, a good artist, or a Renaissance man, in a way. He could do a lot of things, couldn't he?
Yes, he tried just about everything, I think, yeah.
He became the World War II, a World War II official artist. I suppose that was really what made him known to a lot of people.
I think that's what made his name, yes, in many ways. Yeah.
What about this relationship he had, intriguing, with John Betjeman?
Betjeman had heard that he was very interested in type in the mid-30s.
As in typography?
Typography, yeah, and he was experimenting with type. And he was a good photographer, and he felt that he'd be the person to write a shell guide, which were experimental guides anyway.
Haven't you been involved as well?
Yeah,
Have you been commissioned to write?
I did one a long time ago in '82, yes, yes. I vowed to do notes in the field. I would look at buildings and landscapes without consulting reference works. And afterwards, I would look at the reference works to see if my ideas were confirmed.
And what if you wrote something, this is magnificent, and you read something later that said it's a pile of old nonsense?
I usually stuck to my guns.
You stuck to your guns. Quite right, too. Right, well, you have 11 points with your knowledge of John Piper. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes, starting now. Who plays the New York police detective John McClane in the Die Hard films?
Sorry, don't know.
Trinidad is the most southerly major island in which sea?
Caribbean.
Yes. Which veteran group's hit song Rockin' All Over the World was re-recorded as Running All Over the World in 1988 as the theme song for Sport Aid?
Status Quo.
Yes. What's the common name of the palm Phoenix dactylifera, whose fruits are an important crop in North Africa and the Middle East?
Date.
Yes. Which document was introduced in its modern form after the passing of the British Nationality and Status Aliens Act of 1914?
Passport.
Yes. Which wife of a former Prime Minister wrote the authorised biography of the opera singer Joan Sutherland and a history of checkers?
That was Norma Major.
Yes. The Egyptian Mao is a breed of which domestic animal?
Cat.
Yes. What did the prophet Isaiah say that God would tell the people of the world to beat their swords into?
Ploughshares.
Yes, the original version of which sporting trophy was stolen from the shop window of William Shilcock of Newton Row, Birmingham in 1895 and never recovered?
That's the FA Cup.
Yes. Which barrister's wife, Hilda, was played on television by Peggy Thorpe Bates and later by Marion Mappy?
Pass.
Whose 2005 novel A Long Way Down is narrated in turn by members of the potentially suicidal so-called Topper's House 4?
Did know. Sorry, pass.
What name is shared by two ranges of hills in eastern England separated by the Humber estuary?
Lincolnshire Wolds and Pennines.
The Wolds.
Wolds, yeah.
Which word for destruction or slaughter on a mass scale comes from the Greek words for whole and burnt?
Holocaust.
Yes. Which Shakespearean character speaks the lines, "Hath a dog money, is it possible a cur can lend 3,000 ducats?
Shylock.
Yes. Who, according to Glenn Campbell's 1975 hit song, rides out on a horse in a star-spangled rodeo?
Man with no name.
No, Rhinestone Cowboy. You had three passes. Nick Hornby wrote that novel, A Long Way Down. Rumpole of the Bailey.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that's the one who had that wife. And Bruce Willis plays John McClane. Three passes. You now have a total, Robin Healey, of 21 points. And now Magnus Moody, please. And you're a solicitor who deals in property.
Commercial property, mainly, yes.
Commercial property.
Yes.
Well, then, answer this for me. How can we keep endlessly building big new office blocks all over the place?
There's always going to be a market for them. People
Why?
don't go spending money willy-nilly. But what is happening is, of course, that their older offices are being vacated for newer offices with, better set up for technology, for example, for cabling. So it's always cheaper to build a new office than refurbish them.
But it's not as if for every new one you build, you knock down another office building. I mean, you often build office buildings on a bit of old wasteland or somewhere where there was not very much before. So we end up with lots more offices, don't we?
Well, one of the tendencies is now for out-of-town large development sites, and the offices that are left in the town are often converted back into flats or demolished, and there's flats built there, and there's a whole new industry of inner-city flats.
Do you look at it occasionally and think, it's a bit flaky?
Oh, that's okay. I'll play the bagpipes. I could always go busking on Princes Street.
Well, that's an interesting notion, from solicitor in property to bagpipe player. Well, why not? Right, 12 points is what you have so far with your knowledge of bagpipes and those World War novels. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes, starting now. Which document is Thomas Jefferson said to have started drafting at the Indian Queen Tavern in Philadelphia in 1776?
Declaration of Independence.
Yes. Which rodent with large defensive quills on its body and tail has a name that comes from the Latin for pig and thorn?
Porcupine.
Correct. Where in Moscow did the 19-year-old West German Matthias Rust land a light aircraft in May 1987?
Red Square.
He did. Which author was consulted prior to the making of the 1960s television series The Man from U.N.C.L.E. because one of the characters was named after a villain in Goldfinger?
Oh, pass.
Which disease do the French call la rage?
Rabies.
Yes. By what name is the Historic Buildings and Monuments Commission for England generally known, whose aim is to conserve the historic environment?
The Countryside Commission.
English Heritage. Outside which port was the German pocket battleship Graf Spee scuttled by her captain in December 1939?
Montevideo.
Correct. Which Indian religion, founded in the 6th century BC by Mahavira, lays particular stress on the system of ahimsa, or non-violence to any living things?
Buddhism.
Jainism. Which British businessman built a £2 million mansion on his private island, Necker, in the British Virgin Islands in 1984?
Richard Branson.
Yes, in a portrait completed in 1784, as what did Sir Joshua Reynolds paint the actress Mrs. Sarah Siddons?
Pass.
Which song that was a hit for Frankie Vaughan and Shakin' Stevens opens with the line, "Midnight, one more night without sleeping"?
Pass.
Which American basketball player had the nickname His Airness?
Michael Jordan.
Correct. The town of Hay-on-Wye, particularly renowned for its many shops selling what type of second-hand items?
Antiques.
Books. Which influential film director's early works include The Killing and Paths of Glory?
Pass.
Which scientist, famed for his law about the behaviour of gases, was the seventh son of the first Earl of Cork?
Boyle.
Yes, in pre-revolutionary Russia, what title was given to the eldest son of the Tsar?
Zarevich.
Zarevich, yes. Which television comedy series had the catchphrase, and now for something completely different?
Monty Python's Flying Circus.
Monty Python's Flying Circus it was. Your passes, Stanley Kubrick was that film director, Paths of Glory and all that. Midnight, One More Night Without Sleeping, The Green Door. The Tragic Muse was how Joshua Reynolds portrayed Mrs. Sarah Siddons, and Ian Fleming was the author, as you now know, consulted about Man from U.N.C.L.E. 4 passes, Magnus Moody, 22 points. And now Gerry Waldron, please. And your job is something we're all interested in. That's to say, public health, medicine.
Yes. It's not considered the front line, but it's very important, because if we weren't there, a lot of work like following up people that, well, dealing with disease in the community wouldn't get done.
And you're also the people who tell us, or at least you hope you'll be able to tell us, if we're going to have a flu epidemic or pandemic even.
It is absolutely certain that it will happen, but whether it will happen this year or next year or in the next 20 years, that's the question, which is why people who need a flu jab have to get a flu jab every year.
Do they work? Because you hear people saying all the time, well, I had the jab, but I still got a cold, as though a cold and flu are sort of the same.
They're completely different things, of course, and anyone that has ever really had the flu will know the difference between a cold and a flu. They can use the 20-pound note test.
Ah, tell us about that.
The 20-pound note test is that if you have the flu and there's a 20-pound note on the floor, you won't pick it up. If you have a cold, you'll pick it up.
Right, you have 14 points. 22 is the score to beat at the moment. See how you do with your general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. What is the common name for the 3 species of flightless birds of the genus Apteryx found in New Zealand?
Emu.
No, kiwis. In 2000, which former British heavyweight champion became the first boxer to be knighted?
Henry Cooper.
Correct. Which university, founded in 1832, granted its royal charter in 1837, was the first to be built in the north of England?
Newcastle.
Durham. In 1752, which American statesman showed that lightning is a form of electricity when he flew a kite during a thunderstorm?
Benjamin Franklin.
Yes. Who in December 1980 autographed a copy of his double fantasy album for a fan who shot him hours later?
John Lennon.
Yes. Which catastrophic natural event recounted in the book of Genesis is also told in similar terms in the Babylonian epic Gilgamesh?
The flood.
Yes. Which explorer lived with remote tribal people in the television series Tribe and led the British team in the Antarctic on the programme Blizzard Race to the Pole?
Ray Fiennes.
Bruce Parry. Of the 8 English and British kings called Edward, who had the longest reign?
The third.
Yes. Which city was the capital of Pakistan from 1947 until 1959?
Islamabad.
Karachi. In which 2004 film does Halle Berry play Patience Phillips, a shy, sensitive woman who turns into a prowling superhero?
Catwoman.
Yes. What are collected by a notophilist?
Autographs.
Banknotes. Which 19th century British Prime Minister was known to his supporters as the Grand Old Man?
Gladstone.
Yes. Which record label founded by Chris Blackwell in Jamaica in 1959 had a palm tree as its logo?
Island.
Yes. Whose series of 87th Precinct mysteries has spanned over 5 decades, from Cop Hater, published in 1956, to Fiddlers in 2005?
Ed McBain.
Correct. Fleetwood, Blackpool and Lytham St Anne's are the principal towns on which peninsula?
The File Peninsula.
Yes. Whose history of the Greco-Persian Wars, written in the 5th century BC, is thought to be the earliest comprehensive narrative history produced in the ancient world?
Euripides.
Herodotus. Named after a district of London, which popular dance was adapted from the choreography of the 1937 musical Me and My Girl?
Lambeth Walk.
Yes. On a bottle of port, what do the initials LBV stand for?
Late Bottle Vintage.
Yes. And your time is up. No passes. Gerry Waldron, 26 points. So now, Rachel Hobbs, please. And Iron Maiden. And lots of people have told me that it's a man thing, that heavy metal stuff. But you prove the exception?
I think that's a popular perception, but I'm not sure how true it actually is. If you go to concerts, yeah, the men probably outnumber the women, but not by a huge amount.
So what is it about this particular band that you like?
With this particular band, it's mostly the lyrics. Obviously, the music's very important, but the lyrics are so much more intelligent than you find in a lot of other music. They take themes from the whole range of subjects.
And they have this extraordinary, or had this extraordinary lead singer, Bruce Dickinson.
Yes.
Remarkable man. Tell us a bit about him.
He's a very good fencer. He could easily have represented England at Olympic sort of standards.
One of the best in the world.
Absolutely. In recent years, he's also gained his commercial pilot's licence.
So sometimes actually flies fans to his concerts.
Yes, you can book tickets on the Bruce Air flights to be flown to the concert by Bruce.
Does he really call it that? Bruce Air
Bruce
flights. Right. You have 16 points. The score to beat is 26 points. So, let's see if you can do it. 2 minutes on general knowledge, starting now. The teenage romance of Scott Robinson and Charlene Mitchell was among the early storylines of which television soap opera?
Neighbours.
Correct. Which medical operation was performed in Britain for the first time in May 1968 by Donald Ross and his team?
Heart transplant?
Yes, in equestrianism, which term used to describe the complex manoeuvres of a horse in response to body signals from its rider comes from the French for training?
Dressage.
Yes, in which English spa town is the Pittville Pump Room, completed in 1830 for the local landowner Joseph Pitt?
Bath.
Cheltenham. What name for an otter's den is a variant of an Old English word for a stronghold?
Holt.
Yes, which award-winning feminist author wrote the autobiographical novel Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit about her Pentecostal upbringing?
Pass.
What name coined by the Austrian geologist Edvard Suess was given to the supercontinent that comprised the landmass of the southern hemisphere about 200 million years ago?
Pangaea.
Gondwana. In the 19th century, what were propelled through tunnels by leggers?
Pass.
Which queen succeeded William III to the British throne in 1702?
Pass.
In the marriage ceremony of which religious movement may the groom promise the bride a comb and a cat if she wants one?
Scientology.
Yes, which Manchester rock band released the album Stop the Clocks in November 2006?
Oasis.
Correct. Watchmakers and jewellers use a loop in their work. What is a loop?
Pass.
Which writer is played by Nicole Kidman wearing a false nose in the film The Hours?
Virginia Woolf.
Yes, Dulce, Japanese wakame and purple lava are all varieties of which marine algae?
Pass.
In Greek mythology, which son of Apollo was the god of healing and medicine?
Dionysus.
Asclepius. In music, what name coming from the Italian word for sung is given to a work for one or more voices with instrumental accompaniment such as Bach's Sleeper's Wake?
Pass.
Which group of islands in the Eastern Pacific, famed for their wildlife, were officially known as the Columbus Archipelago?
Galapagos.
Yes. Which future leader of the Conservative Party finished bottom in the first ballot of the party's 1997 leadership election with 23 votes?
Michael Howard.
Michael Howard is correct. You had 6 passes. Cantata was that musical term. Seaweed, all those peculiar marine algae. Eyeglass is a loop. Queen Anne succeeded William III. Jeanette Winterson wrote Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit. And leggers propelled canal boats through tunnels. Rachel Hobbs, 6 passes, 25 points. So, at the end of that very close contest, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 21 points, Robin Healey. 3rd place with 22 points, Magnus Moody. 2nd place with 25 points, Rachel Hobbs. In 1st place with 26 points, Gerry Waldron. Which means that Gerry Waldron goes through to the semi-final. Congratulations to him. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
It's all to play for on The Weakest Link, next on BBC Two this afternoon. Then we're perusing the Great British Menu in 45 minutes. And there's a lesson in pork later with classic Floyd on food at 2:45.